Well, I think in theater at least, nobody's interested in what older people think. Theater exists for every generation to make their statement, and their statement is frequently made exactly against an older generation. So mentorship in theater is a little strange, because in fact you're meeting the people who are here to wipe you off the face of the earth. And they're not interested in what you have to say, or they will hear it and then do the opposite, because of course that's why they're here. So for me it was very, very interesting to get to know Maya. I think I chose and Rolex has this astonishing process of research where they come up with 80 or 90 names from all over the world, which are then winnowed down by a series of committees. And there is no theater, festival, or museum that has that depth of research on their staff. So really what Rolex is also doing is combing the world for astonishing people. I chose the artist who was least developed and had the smallest body of work. So there was more of a wide open space in front of both of us. And then my rule was not to be involved with her work in any way at all, and mostly not seeing it ever, and really just being a friend. Because my attitude about being an artist is no one can tell you anything. You just have to learn it yourself, and you have to find your path, and in fact, your path has to be found by you. So I stayed away from her work completely. Meanwhile, what I did do, because Maya was part of a theater collective in Beirut, was get to know her circle of people. And I have to say, very movingly, Rolex did something amazing. And we all made a series of events together in Beirut that gathered different communities in that city around specific artistic moments. And so it was not just completely a private situation. And definitely Maya came and saw what I was doing, and I think that did give her a sense of confidence, because when you see somebody who just behaves as if they know what they're doing, that's very helpful. And also I think Maya comes from a culture where a certain type of assertion is complicated. And so I think I was able to be useful in that respect, but the most important thing was my own life opened profoundly in getting to know Maya. And now Beirut is a city that is part of my life, and there's a large circle of artists there who I'm in dialogue with. And Maya's work is seen at a different level because people are now paying attention. And that idea that somebody's now paying attention to what you're doing and that you've been selected, I think is extremely valuable, and particularly in those contexts. And also when you're in a situation which is politically sensitive. Because of the Rolex recognition, bureaucrats, government people, university people have been served notice, pay attention. And the world is watching what happens to this young person. And that creates a different aura around their work and what the possibilities they have are. And that's why I really am so moved by the opportunity of the Rolex program. At the same time, the other thing that is extremely important is all of us have rather narrow worlds. And anything that gives us a wider canvas and a wider sense of where we are in the 21st century, I think that's really important. And so Maya was able to enter many, many different worlds with me that would not normally be part of her world. And she took me into worlds that would never have been part of my world. And I think, obviously, the best way to learn is to teach. And so Maya was my teacher in Beirut. And Maya constantly opened to me the cultures that she was engaging with, the political issues she was engaging with, the very complicated governmental structures she was engaging with, and to be with her as she and her group were pursuing their work after the Israeli invasion in the south of Lebanon, and really work of rebuilding. And these were truly formative experiences in my own life. And meanwhile, for her, she had a guest who was known around the world. So again, in a small village in southern Lebanon, there was a different type of attention suddenly everyone had around what we were doing. So it just created a different set of dynamics that I think opened some worlds.
Peter, I wonder, in the way you work, is it about rejecting a lot of ideas or having brilliant ideas that suddenly dissipate, new ones come, a constant business of erasing what was great yesterday in order to get somewhere new? And I'm wondering if in the mentorship process you opened that world to to those people in Beirut, for example, how your mind works and how your projects work and how you build them.
Well, I think what theater has to offer, and what I think where we're moving in the arts in general, is away from this notion of individual genius and individual brilliance, and recognizing that knowledge is held by communities, and aspiration is held by communities, and thirst is held by communities, and sense of necessity is held by communities. And theater is about entering and focusing those aspirations, that hunger, that thirst, and that sense of disappointment, and then the sense of hope that has to follow the disappointment that we now feel all over the world as we watch your fondest hopes crushed day after day by an absence of political possibility at this moment. So art, I think, plays a crucial role in terms of giving people something to deal with in the midst of the disappointment. Something that keeps your focus moving forward even while you want to retreat. And something that gives you a way to refine your ideas at a moment when you've been completely rejected. And so for me, in Beirut, of course, the political life of these last years has been devastating, over and over and over again. What is it that keeps people moving forward, that keeps people gathering, that keeps this incredible urban culture seething and alive with ideas and with possibility? For me, theater is about that. And so it's not so much about making a painting and erasing certain parts of it. It's actually feeling a community itself begin to advance certain ideas or begin to sense this is not the moment for that idea. And that is a powerful experience that nobody's in charge of. If the dynamic is correct, if you have an exciting dynamic, things begin to emerge that nobody in the room had foreseen. And that's what you hope for in theater.
Thank you very much, Peter.